Be advised, the opinions and views of the hosts and guests do not reflect those of the station.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to Philippines Uncut. I'm your host, Buddy Cunanan. Now, on this show, we talk about everything under the sun, and tonight's topic is business. Tonight's show, you're gonna learn a lot about the stock market, this institution that handles a lot of money, and you're gonna learn about how all of you, can benefit from investing in it. And joining us for this program are Angel S. Mercado. He is the president and COO of Accord Capital Equities Corporation. Welcome, Angel.
Good evening, buddy.
And joining him is Mr. Alfred Reiterer, who is from Austria, who is a businessman and stock market investor. Willkommen zu meiner Fernsehsendung, Alfred.
Thank you for inviting me. It's a pleasure to be here.
Thank you very much for joining us. Okay, now before we get into the meat of our topic, let's have a few short introductions, starting with Angel.
Thank you. Yeah. Again, thank you for inviting us here, buddy. I am Angel Mercado. I am the President and CEO of Accord Capital Corporation. Accord Capital Corporation is one of the 133 listed members of the PSE. We are one of the local companies, and we are also into online trading, which is our Philstocks platform. We are located at the ground floor of the Tectite Tower in Ortigas. And you can log on to our website at www.philstocks.ph.
Okay. Now, have you been involved in stocks for a long time, Angel?
Managing this company for some time now, but personally engaging in stock investment, yes, for a long time now.
What were your previous affiliations before you joined Accord Capital?
Affiliation meaning which industries I was working with.
Yes.
I was working in the pharmaceutical industry before, and then in the tobacco business. I also worked for a long time in the telecommunications industry, and then also went abroad to be an expatriate, working also in the telecommunications industry, and then I came back here and start managing this business.
So major industries, a lot of exposure in many different fields, and it has given you a broad background, really.
Yes,
and
yes.
I'm sure it's helped you. It's helping you now in your current position.
Definitely, definitely. Understanding the ins and outs and the peculiarities of each industry. Yes.
Very, very important when it comes to investing in stocks.
Yes.
So we'll get back to that. Now,
yes.
Let's go to Alfred. Hey, Reiterer, please introduce yourself to our audience.
I'm from Austria. I came in year 2004 the first time to the Philippines. And since it's more fun in the Philippines, I'm still here. And I started to invest in the stock market abroad about 25 years ago. And investing in the Philippines after I came to the Philippines, after I saw that here are a lot of companies, that the country has a lot of potential. And by analyzing what could you do, invest in property, invest in stock market and so on, I finally came up with the stock market. And since I also got more and more curious, I joined the first MBA program of the Philippine Stock Exchange with Master of Business Administration, with a specialization in capital markets, which was just finished 2 months ago.
Yes. And how do you view, let's say, the Philippine stock market compared to ones overseas, for instance?
You have to see it like this. Of course, 20 years ago, most probably it would have been a good time to invest in the United States when there was the rush in technology. Maybe 100 years ago, it was good to invest into railway companies. But I would say in the last 10 years, Asia, especially emerging Asia, had some great potential. And if you look at the figures in the Philippines, just this week, the Philippine Stock Exchange reached another all-time high, gaining more than 20% since the beginning of the year, outperforming all the developed markets like in the States and in Europe.
Yeah.
I think it's really the time to be in the Philippines.
So really, the Philippines, Asia, emerging markets, this is really the trend now, and the growth opportunities for growth are in these markets. Not so much in the developed world, in more developed economies. As you can see, as we all know, Europe has a big problem in its hands. The United States still struggling. But Asia, interesting, at 20%. You said it has grown 20% since
Beginning of the year.
Now, Angel, where do you attribute this growth, this strength in our stock market, or let's say regionally even? Where is it coming from?
Okay, first in the country, whereas before, like Alfred is saying, our market or local stock market is majority of them is dependent on what happens in America, in the U.S., or even in Europe.
Sure.
But right now, it seems to have its own life because it's not dependent entirely on the outside market anymore. It has its own forces already. It has its own strength already. Well, credit that to to our government right now.
Yeah. No, but even still, I mean, as you said, it's starting to develop a life of its own. But still, there's no discounting the fact that what happens in the United States, I mean, in this connected world we have now, what happens in the United States will really affect us, and they are still our biggest trading partner.
Yes,
Philippines.
but not as much as before.
Okay.
Before, when Wall Street goes down, we really go down, but not anymore. There are instances in the past few weeks, in the past months now that even when Wall Street or Europe is down, the Philippine market is actually going up. So just today, I was just looking at it. We are finished. We have closed at 5,300 point something.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
So.
And this really is a good sign because it points to the maturity of the market, the maturation of the market in the industry.
Yes, because again, in the absence of good investment opportunities abroad, foreign companies, foreign investments are now starting to look for good opportunities here in Asia, and Philippines is one of them.
Sure. Because as investors flee the European markets,
Correct.
or flee the United States, they go to places where their money will earn or safe.
Yes.
And Asia is showing that now.
Yes, and
But,
plus retail investors now seeing the strength of the market are now starting to gain confidence again in the market and now starting to put in their money again.
So our program is really very timely because, as you said, 20% growth since the start of the year. There really is money to be made in the stock market. You just have to know how to do it.
Yes.
And the ins and outs of the business in order to really maximize potential from these opportunities.
Yes.
Now, okay, part of one of the objectives of our show today is really to explain to the layperson the ins and outs in our limited amount of time, the ins and outs of the stock market. You know, Angel, Alfred, unfortunately, when you say stock market, stock exchange, a lot of people are kind of intimidated by it because they think it's something that's for the rich, it's something very technical, they don't understand it, hence they'd rather invest in something else. But today, we're going to try to dispel these myths. And let's start with a definition of terms. So at least later on when you start talking about it, people don't get lost. Let's define first, Angel, the following terms: stock market, stock exchange, capital gains, and dividends, dividend payout.
Okay, stock market is where the buying and selling of the stocks of each company are done. Okay, it is where the prices of buying and selling prices are established, and it is where the buyers and sellers converge to buy stocks of certain companies. This is the stock market. The exchange is the entity that makes all this happen. They give services to the stockbrokers, to the company that sells their stocks, and to the buying public or buying institutions to make sure that all is done in a fair manner.
Okay.
That each and every entity of this whole thing is protected. Okay. Now, what's the other one?
Capital gain?
Capital gains. Capital gains is the money or the capital, the gain that you make for every position that you do. For example, you buy low, you sell higher.
High, yes. You make
So
a
that's
profit.
capital. You make a profit.
That's
That's
your capital
capital
gain.
gains.
Okay.
Now, dividends. Dividends are the income or the income that you gain as an investor if and when, for example, you buy a stock of a certain company and then they make money for a certain period, for example, first quarter or now first half, and then they would declare, oh, we made money or we surpassed our profit target, so we're happy, we're going to give cash dividends to our investors.
And that includes people who bought the stock.
Correct.
Okay.
But there are two things, there are two kinds of dividends. It can be cash dividends or it can be stock dividends.
Okay.
So it can be, we give you cash, we issue you a check, or we give you additional stocks.
Okay, so boosting your position, increasing your position in the
Correct.
company. Okay, so
Correct.
basically in a nutshell, two ways you can earn: buy low, sell high. The profit you make, that's one way. And number two is when and if the company decides to release dividends. In
Correct.
terms of monetary dividend or stock dividends.
Correct.
Okay, so
Correct.
those are the two basic ways people earn from the stock market. Alfred, people are probably wondering why do companies list in the first place? What is the reason?
The reason is
How come there are some unlisted companies? How come other companies are listed?
first thing is, of course, if a company wants to grow,
Okay.
they have to raise additional funds. The easiest way to get additional funds is go to the bank and ask the bank.
Okay.
But if you ask the bank, you will be the slave of the bank because you have also to pay interest.
Of course.
And the bank will be very cautious whom they are going to borrow money. But if you have a good idea, some business which is running already well, and you go to the stock market, you sell a certain percentage of your company, you get new investors, they will give you money, and you will share the profit with them. Same like people do it in the regular markets. In the stock market, it's very simple. When you invest in the stock market, you become an owner of a company.
Okay. So they raise funds, but they also lose a bit of the company.
They give up a little bit of the company, but let's make it simple. Who wants to be 1% shareholder of SM, and who wants to be 1% shareholder of the small Sari Sari store? I prefer to be 1% shareholder of SM than of the Sari Sari store. So if you want to grow, you have to get additional funds, and as long as you control the majority, you can still run the business like you did it before.
Yes, and then, okay, what kind of controls do you have now? Let's say, say you give up a lot of the company. What kind of controls are in place to make sure that you are able to do what you want with the company?
Actually, every year there's a shareholder meeting,
Okay.
and at the annual shareholder meetings, the majority of the shareholders will elect the board of directors, who will then announce the officers and so on. Every year, every single shareholder is invited to join this meeting, can ask questions to the management,
Yes.
and based on their votings, there will be a new board. If someone invests more and more money, he might take over the company. Small investors, even with one share, have at least the right to go there and to ask questions.
Yeah. Remember, buddy, that when you own stocks of a company, it doesn't mean that you can run the company that you have. But during this shareholders meeting, during this annual shareholders meeting that Alfred is saying, that is the one time when all of the shareholders can stand up,
And voice
their opinion of what the company is doing,
Okay.
can question what the policies of the company is doing, or can even make suggestions. Okay, so actually we encourage all shareholders to attend the annual shareholders meeting.
Yes.
For
But,
them-
but as Alfred was saying, if the owners of the company still own the majority,
Of
then,
course.
then what say does the minority really have? I mean, and by the minority, I mean all the little investors that have bought, as Alfred said, 1% or 0.05% or whatever.
Well, like I said, they do not have the to run the company, right? But at least their voices will be heard. So when these directors of this company will converge again in their boardroom, they can tackle up important matters that were discussed during the shareholders meeting.
Okay. Now, earlier, Angel, you mentioned that the stock exchange was set up in order to ensure that the exchange or the exchange of stocks and the buying and trading of stocks is done in a fair manner, fair and organized manner. Let's talk about stock manipulation. This has happened in the Philippines.
This has happened before, but very far in between. Very rarely, and those people that were engaged in this were already penalized. Right now, the Philippine Stock Exchange, in coordination with the SEC, conducts a very, very stringent and very, very rigorous and rigorous audit of all the stockbrokers, of all the participating traders. So manipulation happened before, maybe will happen again, but not necessarily the name of the game.
Let's also define another often used word here, insider trading. I mean, you watch Wall Street, Part 1, Wall Street Part 2, Money Never Sleeps, etc.,
Yes,
etc.
yes.
So what is insider trading?
Insider trading is when a person or a group, an entity, trades in shares of stocks of a company because they have advanced knowledge of what the company will be doing. Either they will be expanding or selling or have discovered a new wonder drug or something that will help boost the price of their stocks.
Or if they know that a company is going south.
Or the company is going south. No, that is not allowed because it gives this person or these persons undue advantage in trading. So they can hype it and then just dump the stocks and then it will go down. So unsuspecting retail investors would see the price of the stocks going up, and they would think that it's because there's something big that's going to happen. But unfortunately, there's really none. Some people are just trying to hype it and then earn money from it. So that's insider trading. No? So, but
very hard to police. Very hard to. How does the PSC police?
It is,
I mean, how can you prove that, let's say, an individual made an investment based on illegal information?
Well, that part is hard, but the PSE and the SEC has established certain policies or certain practices to make sure that this does not happen. Like, for example, they are monitoring the trades of each company, of each brokers like us, is a stockbroker like us. So if they see something, they have parameters I cannot tell you here.
Sure.
They see something that is suspicious, they immediately call the attention of the stockbrokers.
Like a red flag, something like
red flag, and then they ask you to explain. Why is your client trading in this and that and that? And you have to answer that.
Okay.
And I myself, I have my own share of answering questions like that. And fortunately for Accord, we were able to answer it properly. We were able to set it straight.
So there are teams of people just monitoring the stock market.
Yes.
And keeping watch over certain
Yes.
bumps
Yes.
and then
The PSE,
investigating.
the PSE and the SEC are doing a good job at protecting your money,
Yeah.
the investors' money.
Yes, because a while back, Alfred, I don't know if you're in the country already, there was this thing called BW Resources, and a lot of people got burned in that one because the stock went ballistic, and then a lot of people tried to jump on the bandwagon, and then we all know the story. It eventually tanked, leaving a lot of people holding an empty bag. So,
yes, and I think this is the positive thing about the Philippines. In those days, it was something like an old boys club.
Yeah.
But I think the new board and the new president of the PSE is really open to monitor and to develop the market
Yeah.
away from emerging market, but to be a well-developed market, introducing new technology with good information technology. You can monitor the market and find out when someone tries to manipulate.
And
Yes.
it also helps if the market gets more players, right?
Yes. Yeah, that's
It's hard
I
to- it's hard
agree
to
with Alfred.
manipulate.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Give credit to the president of PSE, Mr. Hans Sikat. He has done a lot of innovative things for the PSE.
Okay. Now, let's go to the heart of the matter. Investing in the stock market. How does one invest in the stock market? I mean, let's explain to the viewers. Like, how does one go about it?
It's very very simple. For example, for newbies, let's say newbies, zero knowledge. Okay, you can go to the PSE or look up at the PSE and see the list of stockbrokers, because you cannot go to a company and say, I want to buy stocks.
Why
No,
not?
you cannot do that.
Why not?
Again, you have to go through the PSE. That's the exchange, because to make sure that you are protected as an investor.
Okay.
So you have to go to a registered member of the PSE, which are the stockbrokers, and then you will have to fill up some forms. That's the client account information form, which is required by the SEC and the PSE also. And then after that, your broker will have to teach you what to do. So you can put in your money to the stockbroker, and then they will teach you how to read all those fundamental reports, read all those technical reports,
Wow.
and then read. A good stockbroker
We'll do that.
will do that. Yes. Yes.
Because there are a lot of stockbrokers who just mouth off. Okay, if you walk into the office, they'll say, okay, these are the good stocks now, without bothering really to explain all those things you just mentioned.
Yeah, yeah. But there are very few of them. I would say all these 133 these active members of the PSE, they would do that. They would do
Alfred, how do you, as a investor in the stock market, what advice would you give to the audience on how to choose a good stockbroker?
I think the most important thing is you have to choose between a conventional stockbroker, where you have to call and give your orders, and an online broker.
Okay.
In today's life, I would everyone recommend choose an online broker, because you have information and stock trading at your fingertips.
Define online broker first.
Online broker are brokers who offer, similar to online banking, a website where you can put your orders, where you can monitor your shares, you can buy, you can sell, you see your profits, you see your losses.
Yeah.
And there are several online brokers here in the Philippines, if I'm not mistaken, at the moment 5. So if you register with one of these 5 online brokers, you can trade and do your stock investments.
So pretty much it's the same as a traditional broker, except here you have more information available at your fingertips.
And you do it yourself immediately online.
That's it. If I may.
Yes, please.
Whereas the traditional stock market trading or brokerage is when you have an agent that you call and then ask, and this agent will give
Please
you
buy me 100 shares of this and that.
An online trading, online stock market trading is some sort of a do it yourself.
Okay.
So, but doing it yourself doesn't mean that you have to, because everything is offered when you go online. When you go online here, everything that you need is here.
Yes.
All the information,
Yes.
the graphs, the charts, the technical analysis,
Which is good.
the research are here.
It forces you
already.
to learn.
Correct.
Yeah.
Correct. Or actually, we even have it here on our mobile phone.
Mm.
So actually, there is a big there is a big surge of people going online trading already, because mainly of four factors. Number one, the availability of good technology, which the new platform of online trading offers. Number two is the availability of these enablers, of these gadgets.
Mobile gadgets.
Yeah.
Sure.
Mobile gadgets like
Sure. The iPad, the iPhone.
correct. So actually, you can do trading while I can do trading while I'm on the car.
Okay. What's the third one?
And then the third one will be telecommunications companies are now offering very good plans for web browsing, web surfing,
okay.
internet connections. They are even offering unlimited, so you can turn it on all day. Whereas
And be
before,
connected online.
yeah, whereas
24/7.
before you turn your internet on and off because you are paying by the bytes.
And the last one?
And the last one would be most investors right now are our age, are
More tech savvy.
more tech savvy,
Okay.
computer savvy. Now, if you have a Facebook account, if you have an email account, you can actually trade online.
Okay, hold that thought. We have to pause for a break. But folks will be back with more of how to invest in the stock market when Philippines Uncut returns. Stay tuned.